Hey everybody, this is Wendy. This is Wendy's Pro Perfume. Today is Saturday, October 14th. So here we are for part two of my autumn perfume list. And today we're going to be covering vintages, and I have about 10 of them. And let's just get into it. So, first one, y'all have seen this bottle a million times. It's my beloved Samsara, which I wear all year round. Samsara from Guerlain is my favorite perfume. I tend to drag this bottle out because it's the pretty one. I have like refill bottles and I have things like that. Now, this is the eau de parfum. In the summertime and in the warmer months, I tend to wear the eau de toilette, and I tend to wear a flanker called Un Air de Samsara, which is more of like a green minty herbal narcissus over sandalwood and vanilla. This, admittedly, is heavy, especially the red bottles. The florals are really strong, and in the old clear 90 bottle too. But the eau de parfum, this is my cooler weather Samsara. So, and this is technically vintage. Not only is it from 1989, but this is reformulated, and this, you can't really get this anymore. So, fall perfume, Samsara eau de parfum. Let's do, I tried to make this make sense, at least in terms of like notes. So let's do some leathers. This is a perfume of neglect. This is Coeur de Lancôme. Let's see if that'll work. It's a little dark out today. From Lancôme. This is from 2006. This is a perfume I've had for years and years and years and years. And you know what I did? I was like, this is discontinued. I can't get it anymore. I can't wear it. So this is what's happened. I've hardly worn it. This is this is such a pretty leather, but it's one of those leathers that's more based on like birch tar and styrax. So it's a little bit smoky. It's a little bit outdoorsy. It's not Swedish at all. Like, this is leather. This morning, because like I said, I literally have not been wearing this because I'm dumb. Like, why would I hoard this? This is an amazing leather perfume. But I sprayed this in the cap this morning and I just set it out and I could just smell it in the living room. Who needs candles, right? Multi-purpose your things. I don't need to buy candles. I'll just use this and my cheap incense. But yeah, Coeur de Lancôme, no way in hell am I wearing like a birch tar perfume, a saffron perfume in the summer. So autumnal. This, I don't know. This is like smoky fireplace, leather boots, and birch tarry goodness. It's so great. I love this. But yeah, long discontinued, and it's really a shame because Coeur de Lancôme is a fantastic leather that I should have not been neglecting for literally years. Literally years. So I'm going to put a dent in it this year, this fall. This one is another one of my leathery favorites that is long gone. This is Gucci Eau de Parfum. Okay, that's all it is. Online, if you're ever looking for this, this will also be called Gucci Brown because of the liquid of the juice, and it will also be called Juicy Scannon because on the back sticker, that's the manufacturer's Scannon. Now, this came out in 2002 when Tom Ford was the artistic director for Gucci. This is another leather, not nearly as harsh as, I don't want to say harsh, but not nearly as aggressive as the Lancôme. This is a suede with heliotrope and caraway seeds. I know it sounds like a weird combination, but heliotrope, caraway seeds, and suede just go together like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It just smells amazing. This is another perfume. If you look up the reviews, people are like, why is this gone? Please bring it back. But I love this. It is rather sweet. The heliotrope is a pretty sweet floral, but it is very grounded by that nutty caraway and the very supple, smooth leather. Incredible, sophisticated fragrance. I freaking love this. I do have a backup of this somewhere, and I'm glad I do because I love Gucci Eau de Parfum in the fall for my heliotrope peanut butter and jelly suede. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's go a little spicy and very vintage. This is Aperçu from Houbigant. I really should just do an entire review on this perfume. I have this perfume kind of affects me a little bit emotionally. I really, you say you love a perfume, like I really emotionally love this perfume. So anyway, the original bottle of this came out in 1925. So what was also out at that time, a couple years before, Guerlain made Mitsuko. If you know what Mitsuko smells like, and if you like Mitsuko, this is like a second cousin to that. It doesn't smell exactly like that, but it is like a fruity chypre. Now, what they did was, even in 2000, this bottle came out in 2000, supposedly trying to recreate the old perfume. So this bottle came out in 2000 and then was discontinued. So what is left on the gray market is this fruity chypre. This is loaded with oak moss. This is, let's see, when you spray it on, it smells very fallish because there's a bergamot note, but it smells like the skin of like a green apple. A little bit also like composty in a good way, like just something like earthy, slightly composty on the ground. It also has a very strong like a rosy geranium note in the middle. And it's very woody. It almost has a tinge of like a woody campfire charcoal singe to it, but it has a ton of oak moss, a ton of vetiver, a ton of sandalwood. That being said, I only wear this in the fall because this does not wear that strong. If it's really, really dry and cold out, it wears even quieter. So even though this sounds like it would be like an aromatics elixir level of intensity, because it is such a true blue chypre, even in the year 2000, they were allowed to use a lot of oak moss, but it doesn't wear that loud. And this is gorgeous. The name in French, aperçu, means a passing glance that, you see something when you're out for a split second, but it has a major effect on you. It's very moving to your soul. That's what this perfume means. And that's what it smells like. So if you like old school chypres, if you do like a fruity chypre like Mitsuko, but maybe not as intense, if you like aromatics elixir because you like that kind of oak moss, patchouli, really woody dry down, this is something that you will like. This is not for everybody. Not everybody likes this style of perfume anymore, but for those of us that have a true an oak moss twined soul, this is it. And I mean, the bottles now are what, over 20 years old. They all came out in around 2000. My bottle smells great. I used to be able to buy this on FragranceNet for like $50. I have this and I have a backup. If it comes up, I have the Eau de Parfum. I do have a bottle of Eau de Toilette that I found once, and they smell pretty much the same. So I wouldn't go looking for one or the other. There's also a Parfum version of this, which is really pretty and a little bit more rich. But I could go on and on about this, but I'll stop gushing. This is like fall in a bottle, real fall in a bottle, not like, and I love pumpkin spice. I'm all about my pumpkin spice chai. I'm not making fun of that motif, but this is real fall in a bottle, not like manufactured. Starbucks does pumpkin spice fall. So, Houbigant Aperçu. Let's see that. Apercu. Okay, number one spice. I got a lot of spices here. Y'all remember this one? Switching gears drastically because this one isn't technically that old. This is L'Agent from Agent Provocateur. This is still around, but it's not made anymore, so I just put it in my vintage bottle. Do you guys remember this? I bought this for $25, and then I bought a backup for like $25 because I can't believe perfumes that smell like this were so inexpensive at that time, like, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. If you like bitter greens, there's like Artemisia in this. There's bitter herbal aspects. There are flowers like dark roses, dark geranium, dark iris, and there is a lot of spices and resins like labdanum and patchouli. This just smells so good. What this overwhelmingly is, though, is a really spicy perfume. It is just a spicy resinous with a little bit of floral and a little bit of herbal overlay on it. And a little bit like the Aperçu. The first hour or two, this is a little strong. Like, you could really choke people out with this. And I hope maybe someone can, I'm sure some of you have worn this. I feel like on my skin, it actually quite calms down. Or I'm becoming a nosmic and I have no idea, and I'm just knocking people out with my perfume when I go out and wear Le Chant. But hopefully not. But for how strong and spicy this is, this does become something you can wear in public. Uh, and there is another perfume they put out called Miss Agent Provocateur, which is very similar to this. So if you can't find Le Chant, you can get that, and it's very similar. All right, I think this is from what, 20, this is like almost 15 years old. One perfume was inexpensive, right? I'm kind of all over the place here. Let's go back. So this is a newish bottle of Rouge from Hermes. This, however, like Aperçu, is a resurrected perfume that they had in the 1980s called Parfum d'Hermes. This is a spicy floral. Some people say it smells a little bit like Samsara. I don't think it does, but there is a lot of ylang ylang and iris and florals in here that are kind of encrusted with spices. And the florals are really, really strong though. And they have like a sweet, spicy dynamic going on. And then there's an amazing like woody sandalwood dry down. This too also, in my opinion, does not wear super strong. This is a perfume that I can actually wear to sleep. Sometimes when I go to bed, I don't know how you guys are, I wear perfume to sleep, but I cannot wear anything like super strong because it wakes me up. But this is subtle enough that I get a little spice kick and it feels kind of warm and warms me up, but it's not too much to where I can't sleep. So Rouge d'Hermes. This bottle used to come in a solid red, and I would murder for that because that bottle is so pretty, but I'm not going to pay for it. I shouldn't just pay for a bottle. A little earlier that on the red theme, I have a bottle of Cinnabar. This is actually kind of new to my collection. So real quick, Cinnabar originally came out by Estee Lauder in 1978 as direct competition to a spicy perfume that YSL had just put out called Opium. And Estee Lauder was like, we need to compete with that. You, Bernard Chant, and you, Josephine Catapano, who respectively did Aromatics Elixir and Cabochard, I need you to make us the Estee Lauder version of Opium. Now, apparently, people just loved Opium so much that this never quite caught on. I mean, I don't know how it sold. I don't know how well it sold, but apparently this was still never the hit that Opium was. So time went on, and then by the 1990s, when everyone was wearing CK1 and, you know, Issey Miyake and Estee Lauder Pleasures, they discontinued Cinnabar. They brought it back in 2015 with all these homogeneous looking bottles with plastic caps. Not really thrilled with that, but at least we have it one way or another. The reviews on this are very mixed. Now, I never wore Cinnabar in its heyday. I did get a little mini of the original. This is very hard to find in vintage. I've never really had experience to wear it in vintage. I had a little mini, a mini spray, but I think it kind of went bad, so I'm not even going by that. This, to me, smells really nice. It's sweet. It's autumnal. It's loaded with white flowers. And it's like loaded with white flowers that are overlaid with like oranges and honey. And the oranges are like, did you ever make those little clove oranges during Christmas where you stick clove in the orange and then the rind releases the aromatics, the zest, sorry. Like the orange zest because you basically damage the skin. That's what that smells like. And then the base is like a regular woody base with like sandalwood patchouli. And there's actually oak moss in this. So this is like a spicy white floral chypre, kind of. But yeah, I can't say too much about this because this just came into my collection like a year or two ago and I haven't worn it that much. But I'm glad to have it. This is still affordable. I bought it for like $50 and I think it's like $60 and it's still affordable, still available. Have any of you actually worn this Cinnabar from Estee Lauder? Let me know what you think. I actually never wore Cinnabar, and I have no experience with vintage Opium either, so this is one of those perfumes that I can't be like, oh my god, this sucks, the reformulation sucks, blah, 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 so I don't know. Okay, I had some Givenchy's yesterday, and I have another Givenchy. This is Givenchy Amarage, Mariage. We have a theme. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot this morning, but yes, spicy floral. Look how cute it is. That is a really cute bottle. Look how orangey that is too. So this is another one. If you thought organza was spicy, this is even spicier. I actually think this came out after organza, but organza is not discontinued and this one is. So this is another, if you like those spicy white florals, like ginger, cinnamon, clove, like, over really, really pretty white florals. And a lot of orange too. That's something that this has in common with Cinnabar. This also has a lot of orange on it. And another gorgeous woody base. This came out maybe 20 years ago and they were not overloading everything with ISOE Super yet. So if you can find this and if you want an even more amped version of organza, if that's something anyone's looking for, I recommend that. Mariage from Givenchy. Yeah, fall only too. That sucker is strong and spicy. Cannot imagine wearing something like that in the summer. Hey, I'm almost done. Okay, this is one, I'm sorry, it's a tester, but I have a good reason for having this. This is from a company called Jean-Louis Chereur. It is, I don't know if we're going to be able to see this. Let's see. Chereur. And the perfume is just called 2. It's Jean-Louis Chereur 2. This came out in the 1980s. This is a spicy incense Oriental floral of the time. This came out right around the time that Coco came out in 1984. I don't know who actually did this perfume. Oh, this perfume has a huge incense note. It has a fruit note. It has like a pineapple note. It is aldehydic because it's the times. It has an aldehydic top. It has a huge symphony of white florals. All the white, you know how things were in the 80s? Everything had to be a kitchen sink. This is a kitchen sink perfume. That's like every floral note you could ever imagine. White, red, yellow, no greenery. But yeah, those rich florals with lots of incense, lots of honey, a little pinch of aldehyde, a little pinch of dust, if that makes sense. Those like kind of dusty florals. I used to wear this, and because this also has a fruity pineapple note with the incense, I used to think this kind of smelled like light coming through stained glass. It's not that, it's rich and it's a kitchen sink perfume, but it's not as heavy as you would think. There are aspects of this that keep it on the lighter side. And this being what it is from the 80s, Dry Down is an old school chypre, just orgasmic. Sorry, but it is. Like, if you like that old oak moss, sandalwood, vetiver darkness on the bottom, this is it. So yeah, old school Oriental floral aldehyde. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, Jean-Louis Chereur they were like a couture fashion house, but they used to like license their own perfumes. This bottle is this is a vintage bottle made by Jean-Louis Chereur, and I happened to get this, and it just doesn't have, it's not a tester, it just doesn't have a cap. Normally I can't stand that, but I really can't replace this because this is from the 80s. I have another one that I've been using that is the company that bought them out, and that is called SA Designer Perfumes. They own a lot of companies. They own a lot of random companies, I've noticed. They actually did a really good job, and I wear that one occasionally, but it's not this. This is one, like I was talking about Cinnabar. I have no opinion on what Cinnabar used to smell like, so the reformulation to me smells good. It's not that the reformulation is bad, but I am not getting rid of this just because it doesn't have a cap, because this is still better. But if you're interested in this sort of thing, the reformulation is great and still very affordable. So that's Jean-Louis Chereur 2. Okay, let's just end on a super classic. Chanel Eau de Cologne. Chanel No. 5 Eau de Cologne. Put in a roller ball because I'm not gonna contaminate the bottle. These are splash bottles. So from what I understand, in the 20s, they came out, blah, blah, blah. Chanel came out with No. 5 like in the 20s. The two concentrations that came out were the Perfume and the Eau de Cologne. The Eau de Toilette was not until the 50s. The Eau de Parfum was not until the 80s. So this, I can't describe to you how much better the florals are in these old perfumes. This got discontinued in the 90s. I have a feeling that is this bottle at least is from the 80s or 90s because I have a really old bottle of eau de cologne and that shit has like must have like actual civet in it or something because it is like it is what when people say skanky perfumes, that is like really skanky. Now to a modern nose, this is also going to smell pretty rough around the edges to modern noses, but this smells slightly cleaned up. Anyway, the florals that they have in here, like the African orange flower, the jasmine, the rose, the iris. When I wear this and this sits on my skin long enough and it actually blooms, I'm like, what are they putting in perfume nowadays? Like, what shitty aroma chemicals or what are they? What happened? Do they just not want to pay for it? Or things over harvested? Or things too expensive? I mean, everybody's cutting corners, right, and not wanting to pay. But I this is so pretty. I'm not going to go into what Chanel Number 5 smells like. You either like it or you don't. And most of you who are into perfume have at least tested it. But this doesn't smell anything like, say, what Number 5 on the shelf smells like today. But I actually, even though this is a eau de cologne, this is so strong and concentrated that this works great in a rollerball. Surprisingly, because it just wears like a close parfum. The top notes in this bottle are still really fresh. They're very lemony and very citrusy. And it smells to me like a lemon infused like luxury bar of soap. And then you get into those florals and then you get into all those dark woods. Like the, again, vetiver, sandalwood, probably some oak wasp. So pretty. I love this. But yeah, I mean, I wear Chanel Number 5 all year round. I even wear Chanel Number 5. I wear the Eau Premiere and all that. But this is really pretty for the fall. This is really pretty for the fall. This kind of reminds me of, I should have thought of this too. Another perfume I like to wear in the fall. Do you guys remember Taboo from Dana? That also came in an eau de cologne, and I would put that in a rollerball. And man, that was some skanky ass amber perfume. But it smells so good. It would also smell like candle wax and incense and nice florals and a hint of spice. And they just they don't make perfumes like that anymore. I guess, yeah. I don't want to ramble about too many perfumes that aren't on this list, but yeah, closing out my vintage perfume list with Chanel Number 5 and Eau de Cologne. I could have done more too, but in the interest of time, I've already been talking for 22 minutes. So, is there anything you like to revisit for the fall? What are your old school fall perfumes? I feel like now everything, it's like you got to smell like a latte in order for it to be a fall perfume. And while I like sweets and I like, some fruity notes and things like that, those kind of linear aroma chemical gourmands now, they're just not really my bag. But that's okay. I'm old. So that was it for today. And then I'm staring at my pile right now. You guys want a preview? Ooh. Sorry. Excuse my mess. I'm going to clean it up after tomorrow. So anyway, I'll do the niche pile. It's literally a pile. I'll do the niche pile tomorrow. And let me know how your Saturday's going, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.